Here we are in the Gateway Pundit. Another Biden-Blinken-Newland color revolution descends into bloody mayhem as Muslim mobs massacre Hindus in Bangladesh after toppling democratically elected government. Well, I'm gonna get into her. Bangladesh teeters on the edge of mayhem as Muslim mobs attack Hindu temples and massacre Hindus accused of being Indian spies after violent insurrectionists stormed the capital on August 5th and forced Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to flee the country. Kamala Harris, who is Hindu, has yet to comment on the genocide of Hindus in Bangladesh. I wouldn't hold your breath. Reports are pouring in from across the country of Islamic mobs attacking Hindu homes, burning them to the ground, and abducting women in a horrific descent into anarchy. Yeah, it doesn't take very much, I guess. People who claim that the recent developments in Bangladesh was a student-led protest to effect regime change need to take a long look at this video to decide for themselves how much further they are willing to go and defend bloodthirsty terrorists. Now, I can't show this video because the first part of it has two men hanging upside down on what appears to be a bridge, so it's pretty graphic. In March 20th, 2022, former U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Victoria Nuland visited Bangladesh, aiming to force Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina government to align with the U.S.-NATO war drive against Russia, WSWS reported. With a population of 171 million, Bangladesh has gone from being one of the world's poorest countries to a successful textile exporter, primarily to the U.S. Yeah, a lot of my clothes is made in Bangladesh. And the EU? At the same time, Hasina was reluctant to loosen ties with Russia, which supplies wheat, fertilizer, machinery, fresh and dried fruit, and is constructing Bangladesh's biggest power plant. Really? This is the first time I'm hearing about that. Worth $13.48 billion. The Rupuru nuclear power plant financed by Russian government loan of $12.65 billion, WSWS reported. Talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place. If they break ties with Russia, they lose all the trade and the power plant. But if they don't, they take off the US and the EU. 24 people were yeeted in Bangladesh after protesters set the five-star Z-Bar International Hotel in Jashore on fire. That's not a protest. If people were yeeted, that's a riot. The attackers were out after Shaheen Chakladder, an MP of the toppled ruling party, the Amwan League or something. Pretty sure I said that wrong. Since the beginning of the Ukraine war, the Biden administration has been exerting pressure on Bangladesh to support NATO and the US in the name of promoting democracy. Yeah, the thing about democracy is someone could easily say you're a threat to democracy. I hear it all the time on the media. Threat to democracy, threat to democracy, threat to my democracy. In 2023, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken announced sanctions against individuals undermining the democratic election process. Sounds familiar. In Bangladesh, I don't think it's just the nation of Bangladesh, but moving on. Sheikh Hasina accused the Biden regime of seeking regime change and of trying to eliminate democracy in her country. Are they trying to eliminate democracy in her country? It's all about those ties with Russia, evil Putler. In May 2024, Sheikh Hasina accused the U.S. of seeking to partition Bangladesh. The same month, she revealed she had been offered an easy victory in elections held in January in exchange for permission to an unnamed Western power to build up an air base on Bangladesh's St. Martin's Island in the Bay of Bengal. Well, you know what she should have done? She should have found a way to record that, get some kind of receipt. That would have been great. Her government rejected the proposal, sticking with its long-standing malice to none foreign and security policy, which rules out joining any military blocs, Sputnik News reports. Aw, snap. Sticking with its long-standing malice to none foreign and security policy, which rules out joining any military blocs, Sputnik News reports. Sputnik? Isn't that Russian? Anywho, moving on. The U.S. Agency for Global Media's Voice of America supported a boycott of elections in January, which Hassani won. State Department spokesman Matthew Miller then claimed the election was not free or fair. How about that? Russia has accused the Biden regime ambassador Peter Haas of interfering in Bangladesh's international affairs by aiding anti-government rallies and meeting with opposition leaders. Moscow-based blogger Andrew Korbiko called it a full-blown color revolution and a hybrid war on Bangladesh, which is actually part of the broader hybrid war on India that's being waged by the U.S., ruling liberal globalists for ideological reasons, whose goals contradict those of their conservative nationalist policy-making rivals who respect India as a partner. Blogger Adushi Rana called the events in Dhaka a sinister plot in which shadowy figures from remote corners of the world are pulling the strings. Yeah, the global elite. Inflaming the protest with toxic cocktail of hatred and misinformation. Yep, these foreign entities, allegedly aligned with the extremist opposition of Bangladesh BNP, have been orchestrating a campaign of division propaganda aimed at sowing discord and destabilizing the nation. Division. Division is great for the ruling elite because it's divide and conquer. On August 5th, the U.S.-led color revolution succeeded in installing a radical Muslim military regime, leading to an explosion of mob violence against Hindus. Now, disclaimer, obviously, I don't know if it was led by the U.S., so I'm just popping that disclaimer in there. I'm obviously just reading the article as it is. So in summary, I'm actually kind of glad I went on the Gateway Pundit, because I wouldn't have heard about any of this had I just stuck with like Facebook feeds and mainstream media, because all I hear from the mainstream media as of late is Trump talking about Kamala Harris's heritage or whatever. Anyway, take care out there in Clown World.